Friends, as you know that Swachh Bharat mission was launched by Prime Minister on 2nd October 2014 and with a vision to achieve Swachh Bharat by 2nd October 2019, which will coincide with the 150th birth anniversary of Father of Nation, Sri Mahatma Gandhi. So, and Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation is the nodal ministry, which in coordination with other all central ministries and departments, they are taking up various activities and initiatives to create awareness and about cleanliness and ensure open defecation free India. So today in this context, so Ministry of HRD will brief us about various initiatives and activities undertaken by our educational institutions, including universities, colleges, and schools, so which they have taken up during this period. So now, on behalf of PIB, I welcome Secretary HRD Higher Education, Sri Vinay Rai, and Secretary School Education, Sri Dr. Subhash Chandra Khuntia ji, Secretary Drinking Water and Sanitation, Sri Parmeshwaran Iyer, and Director IIT, Dr. Ram Gopal Rao, and OSD Drinking Water, Sri Akshay Rao. So I request Sri Parmeshwaran Iyer to give opening remarks.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, and again, welcome to all of you. Just a very quick intro in a couple of minutes before we request secretaries from higher education to tell you about their Pakhwada. So as was mentioned, the Swachh Bharat mission focuses on rural and urban, and that's the mainstay of those ministries. But in addition to that, the Prime Minister has always been emphasizing that Swachhata needs to be integrated and mainstreamed in all sectors and all government ministries as well. So the idea was that for one fortnight a year, each ministry and department would focus on mainstreaming, integrating sanitation and Swachhata within their own activities and their subordinate organization activities. So in this particular fortnight, the fortnight which is over, we had Ministry of HRD, Department of Higher Education, Department of School Education. We're very fortunate today here to have both the secretaries, also the director of IIT Delhi, and Akshay Raut, who is our OSD in the Swachh Bharat mission. So they'll give you brief presentations on what were some of the major activities they carried out, which they've started and they will sustain, and then we'll take questions after. I'll first request Mr. Vinay Oberoi, Secretary Higher Education, to present you.
Thank you. The September 1st to 15th was the Swachhta Pakhwada. And it's actually for our ministry, it's a very important fortnight. There is Literacy Day, International Literacy Day. There is Teachers' Day. And it's actually a very good time for our educational institutions to come together in common cause. So there was a reason behind the fortnight and the almost dual observance. And our educational institutions are really the key to fulfilling the Prime Minister's initiative. And the effort of the institutions, of the students, the faculties, and of course the leadership of the educational institutions has been to make this an integral part of what is done. It's not enough to clean occasionally, it's not enough to keep your immediate vicinity clean and free of garbage, but it's something that students, and they have internalized this, and rolling on the screens are actually visuals from across the country and across the institutions. And I have with me Professor Ram Gopal Rao as well, Director of the Indian Institute of Technology at Delhi. And they have taken very special initiatives also. So there wasn't, in a sense, it was very participative, and the ministries or advisories were actually more than fulfilled and more than carried out by the initiative that educational institutions took. And most of the activities involved a very large component of awareness generation. So it's not enough to sort of carry out the physical task of cleanliness or keeping an area, your laboratories, your hostels clean, but also to both internalize that as a part of what you would do in everyday life, in student life and beyond, and also spread and create awareness of it. So the educational institutions, and although I speak specifically of the higher education institutions, but it has also been done at and with the schools, there was a very large engagement of the students. And they carried out, in fact, many of them first carried out a study of their immediate environment and the causes of, for instance, pollution or garbage pile-ups or the systems that actually keep campuses clean and running. There was also the direct cleaning exercises, and you can actually, that is NIT Sikkim, the National Institute of Technology at Sikkim that you see on the screens. They carried out a very large task. It was not just one day in the fortnight, but it happened over the fortnight. Most institutions also involved the local communities, and that is so essential to sustain, not just to enlarge the exercise. And in a sense, a lot of the activities were also not only promotional but catalytic in terms of behavioral aspects, attitudes, from community cleanliness to personal hygiene. A whole range of themes were covered in this outreach with the communities. So we have been receiving reports and visuals or video captures or photographs, and we are sharing them across the institutions so that each of them knows or gets to know something of what other institutions are doing. And from all accounts, students participated enthusiastically. More importantly, they thought about what they were doing and brought suggestions, different ways of doing things, innovation. And I'm glad to say that there's been a fair amount of documentation as well, and that we intend to share with the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. And to them we have said that educational institutions and students, the entire educational community, are the key to whatever you do now and hereafter. So I'm not going to take much more time. My colleague Dr. Khuntia would tell you about the school sector, but certainly the response in the higher education has been both encouraging and overwhelming. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all of you. As you know, in 2014, on the Independence Day, the Honorable Prime Minister had declared the intention to have a Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. And as the first part of it, Swachh Vidyalaya Abhiyan was also launched, that within a period of 1 year, all the government schools in the country were supposed to have gender segregated toilets. And we have been able to achieve that target during that 1 year. And 4,17,796 toilet blocks were constructed during that 1 year into 4,17,796 in 2,61,400 schools. Now, this Swachhata Pakhwada from September 1st to 15th was meant to reinforce behavioral change in the school, among the school children, so that these all the schools which have now got toilet blocks for both boys and girls, they are properly used, kept clean, and good habits are formed among the school children. Also, as the Secretary Higher Education mentioned, September 1st to 15th contained the Teachers' Day on 5th. So the theme of the Pakhwada was focused engagement with teachers, because it is using the teachers that this behavioral change could take place. So we have written to all the state governments, union territories, and our own educational institutions, that is Kendriya Vidyalaya Sangathan, Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, then the Central Board of Secondary Education, through which more than 17,500 affiliated schools have also been instructed. So all these were told to celebrate this Pakhwada in a very befitting manner. And as far as teachers are concerned, we had given them basically two different kind of activities to be done. One is sensitization meetings with the students as well as their parents, because sensitization with the parents also would take it to the community at large. And the second one is to inspect all sanitary facilities within their institution to ensure that they are kept always neat and clean and well maintained. We had suggested certain activities to all the schools in the country. One is, of course, the first one is to ensure that the premises, school premises should be kept clean and litter free. Then certain competitions on the theme of Swachhata, that is essay competition, painting competition, debate competition, banners, then messages on their websites of the educational institutions, then weeding out old papers from the school, disposing of waste material, broken furniture, etc., so that the school is clean, audio-visual programs to be shown for motivating students and employees of the school, also engaging students with cleanliness drives in the nearby areas. There would be places of tourism importance, there will be some public places. So along with the local population, the children also were to work so that they would keep certain areas clean and create an awareness within the community. We also have instituted a competition among the schools called Swachh Vidyalaya Puraskar. So the schools will compete with other schools as to whoever keeps the school the cleanest. So we are going to give them some, not only the certificates, but also some cash incentive for improvement and development of the school. And that process is also on, and a large number of schools have participated, and the process is going on. It will be, the selection will be made at block level, district level, then the state level, and finally at the national level. Now with all our 1,136 Kendriya Vidyalayas in the entire country, all of them have participated in this Swachhata Pakhwada, and every Kendriya Vidyalaya conducted large number of programs, and we have got photographs and all which you can see. 586 Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas, which are residential schools, they also have 586 Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas. They also have participated very enthusiastically in this Swachhata Pakhwada. Then school management committees of all schools were told to take this as a topic and discuss it among themselves so that it spreads among the community, and they should also ensure that the schools are kept neat and clean. Then during this fortnight, every day in the morning, the schools were asked to administer a pledge for cleanliness during the assembly. So this has also been done. Then we have a committee for monitoring government schemes in the district, headed by the Member of Parliament. We have also requested, and it is convened by the district collector. So that committee also was requested to take this as a part of their theme and discuss it so that this will spread to the entire district. So these are some of the things that we have done. And in Rajasthan, about 15 lakh students actually wrote letters to their parents to have individual toilets in their house. Those children who do not have individual toilets in their houses, so they were influenced by through this Swachhata Pakhwada, so that finally that behavioral change, once they use toilets in the school, they would also pressurize their parents to have toilets at their home, and this message will spread so that in very short time our country also will be like many other developed countries where there will be no open defecation outside. Thank you.
Let me introduce to you and request Professor Ram Gopal Rao, Director of the IIT Delhi and one of the most outstanding scientists in the country. IIT Delhi, in fact, has been a lead and coordinating institution and is for the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, of which I think we've spoken before. It's also like other IITs, like our central educational institutions, all of them, been working with the community outside of their campus, in addition to all that they're doing on their campuses, on cleanliness, on the messages and outcomes of the Pakhwada. And I'd like, they also have in fact brought out a brochure which collates some of the work that the central educational institutions have done. But let me give the floor and mic to Professor Ram Gopal Rao.
Thank you, Mr. Oberoi. So I am here to represent the UBA activities of IIT Delhi. IIT Delhi is the National Coordinating Institute. The UBA involves all the centrally funded institutions. And one of the reasons why IITs are involved in the Swachh Bharat Pakhwada or even the UBA is that I think we all are looking for ways to connect with the society. Today if somebody asks what have you done for the society, there are a few examples we can give, but that's one direction we all want to move towards. We want to develop technologies that can improve quality of life in the villages, in the towns, across the nation. So I think one of the mandates for us also is to use high technologies for the benefit of society. And when I say that, for example, developing a technology for a developed country is easier because there the costs often are not really of a prime importance. But to make a high technology available for common people in the country at the cost point that you are looking for, the technologies immediately become much more complex. So I think therefore, doing anything with the high technology for a common man in the country, makes it much more challenging for us in terms of technology, in terms of research, and that's what we are currently looking at. There are a large number of faculty members in various IITs, including IIT Delhi, who are quite excited about the opportunity to contribute to the nation. We are looking at a variety of problems that can go towards the Swachh Bharat Pakhwada kind of an initiative. For example, at IIT Delhi, there is a waterless toilet technology developed. In other IITs, there are smart toilets developed. There are, for example, the low-cost sewage treatment plants, which are also being developed by various IITs. One of the things we did as part of UBA was to write to all the institutions in the country, all the centrally funded institutions. We have asked them to nominate 2 technologies which have relevance for the rural areas, also for the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan kind of initiatives. And we have got these nominations, using which we have prepared a small booklet right now, that is what today will be released. And in the month of December, we will actually be showcasing the real working prototypes of these technologies in Delhi In fact, that exhibition will be done in the month of December this year, where all the technologies that have applications for Swachh Bharat Abhiyan and other rural areas, they will all be demonstrated at IIT Delhi as part of an exhibition. And then now we, with the help of ministries, with the help of Government of India, we would like to take them to the people and implement these solutions in various villages. So that's one way we believe IITs and other institutions of higher learning can directly contribute to the society, in addition to doing the kind of things that they are doing research wise. So this is what we are doing. In fact, we have already started using our campuses as the testing grounds for many of these technologies. If you see at IIT Delhi, almost all of our toilets are now waterless toilets, and we are in the process of making all of our toilets waterless. And we are also planning to use our own sewage treatment plants developed as part of our own research initiatives for the purpose of sewage treatment at IIT Delhi. So these are all the ways we are actually planning to contribute to these activities, and in the next 1 year we hope to see many of these technologies go to people, and you can see them in operation in various villages and towns. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just before we take questions, I'm sure there'll be plenty of questions and comments. Just to also mention that coming up now, September 25th to October 2nd, is the Swachh Bharat Mission Week, which is a week of taking stock of the Swachh Bharat mission, both urban and rural, culminating on October 2nd, which is the second anniversary of Swachh Bharat. It would be 2 years. So there'll be a series of events from September 25th, which happens to be Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Jayanti to Gandhi Jayanti. And on October 2nd, which is Gandhi Jayanti, there'll be a number of events across the country. In particular, several districts, between 15 to 20 districts in 6 to 7 states will be declared open defecation free. There will also, one of those districts is going to be in Gujarat, Porbandar, which, as you know, is very symbolic, is the birthplace of Gandhiji. And then Karnataka will have, there will be in Himachal, there will be in Punjab, there will be in Bengal. We can give you more details about this. So that will be on 2nd October. Also, all Gram Sabhas will be held across all Gram Panchayats in India. And they, among other activities, they'll be focusing on Swachhata. And then 25th will be a railway sanitation together with railways. Different events are being planned. There'll be school sanitation day, there will be an NCC day, and we'll be taking out a press note on this. I thought I'll just mention it. But I'd like to stop here, and we'll open it up to questions, please, on this. Yeah, sorry, we want to release the book, please. So
I request Professor Rao to hand over this.
I'm doing it on behalf of all of us, and I'm very grateful to IIT Delhi for this compilation. And also for the hard work and commitment that our educational institutions have shown. So I think we
have copies for everyone. Yeah,
so that is the thank you.
Now the house is open for
Technology is already commercialized. Do you have any information on it? The cost wise? Professor Vijay from IIT Delhi.
Yeah, so this technology was developed by one of our colleagues in IIT Delhi, and he has got a patent on it, and he has started a new startup company on the basis of this. And he has installed more than, say, 2,000 such units across the country. And average cost is approximately 5,500 rupees for one changing of water, using toilet instead of this waterless urinal. So if existing any toilet is to be replaced by this waterless urinal, it may cost you around 5,500 rupees.
And it doesn't use any water at all.
Yes.
It has a membrane technology.
Yeah.
It has a particular membrane
Excuse me, sir, can we
which
take
is
the mic,
fitted.
please? The mic, दे दीजिए उनको. Mic रख के बैठे हैं, audio नहीं आ रहा.
So this particular technology replaces your existing urinals where it is fitted in downstream side. ठीक है ठीक है.
ठीक है कैमरा.
अच्छा अच्छा. So existing any urinal can be changed to waterless urinal where this type of membrane can be fitted downstream side, and then there is no need of water, and it contains some chemicals which removes the bacterial strains out of it. So that is the advantage of this. So generally a toilet consumes every 10 to 15 liters of water in a day, which can be now saved if this kind of technology is being used in anywhere in the country.
If you come to IIT Delhi, you can see them in action at various places on the campus.
My name is Adian Sari. I'm from Indian Prashashan Institute. तो जब आप इस तरह की बात करते हैं, स्वच्छ भारत और पखवाड़े मनाने की बात करते हैं, तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है. लेकिन जब हम लोग ग्रास रूट पर जाते हैं तो वहाँ पर कुछ नहीं होता. दिल्ली का एक मशहूर प्रोमिनेंट कॉलेज है डॉक्टर दौलत राम. वहाँ बेटियों के लिए टॉयलेट नहीं है, वो खड़ी रहती है, शर्म आती है, टीचरों से बोलती हैं, टीचर कहते हैं हमारे पास इंतजाम नहीं है. तो हम ये किस स्वच्छ भारत अभियान की बात कर रहे हैं, या जो चेक एंड बैलेंस की कमेटियाँ आपने बनाई हैं, क्या वो पॉलिटिकल इन्फ्लुएंस में इस काम को नहीं करा पा रही हैं?
दिल्ली में कभी आप लोग सर्वे किया है क्या? दिल्ली में आप लोगों ने कोई सर्वे किया है क्या? स्वच्छ भारत अभियान का क्या असर हुआ है? क्योंकि कचरे का ढेर बन गया है. इतना चिकनगुनिया डेंगू इतना कुछ हो रहा है, जितने ढलाव है एमसीडी के सब कचरे के पहाड़ बन गए हैं. ये अभियान कुछ करा है?
जहाँ तक दिल्ली में सर्वे की बात है, इसके बारे में मैं अपने जो अर्बन डेवलपमेंट के कोलीग हैं उनसे मैं आई विल गेट यू स्पेसिफिक इन्फॉर्मेशन. दिस इज वी आर फोकसिंग मोर ऑन हायर एजुकेशन एंड स्कूल, बट योर क्वेश्चन ऑन द कॉलेज एंड जस्ट वन मिनट, लेट्स गेट
नहीं, अगर कोई ऐसी मतलब स्पेसिफिक इन्फॉर्मेशन है बता दें. वैसे आदेश निर्देश दिए गए टू ऑल एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस. डॉक्टर खुंटिया ने आपको बताया कि मतलब स्कूल के टॉयलेट जो हैं ये अभियान कैसे चलाया गया. एंड आई बिलीव it is one of the most momentous efforts in independent India. I think Dr. Khuntia can tell us more about that. But in all our educational institutions, we are committed to providing a clean environment, but also working outside of that campus to provide and motivate a clean environment. But Dr. Khuntia may have something to say on the toilets.
Only thing that I would say for the schools, of course the first step is at least there would be some toilets, but it may not be adequate in number. That we must admit. So this second stage of the Abhiyan, we are now asking the states and UTs to identify, because there has to be a proportion of number of toilets to number of children. So in whichever schools that proportion is not maintained, we are asking them to identify such schools and then take up under various schemes. And of course we have our own schemes, that is Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan and Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan for elementary schools as well as high schools. Under these schemes also we can take up construction of toilets. Then state governments also will have certain schemes for which under which they can take up. Recently the Finance Commission has given devolution to panchayats, and as per that devolution, each panchayat would be getting on the average maybe about 5 to 10 lakhs per year for that's a kind of flexi fund they can use for anything. So we have issued a joint letter from our ministry as well as the Ministry of Panchayat Raj and Ministry of Drinking Water Supply, that part of this fund could be used for repair and maintenance of school toilets, because after all school children are also part of the community. And
उससे मेरा सवाल सर यह है, स्कूलों में टॉयलेट जो आपने बनाने की बात कही है कि 4 लाख से ज़्यादा बनाए हैं, क्या देश भर में अभी कितने स्कूल हैं जिनमें टॉयलेट्स अवेलेबल नहीं हैं, उपलब्ध नहीं हैं? और दूसरा, आपने तस्वीरें दिखाई डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूट की, स्कूल्स की, क्या सभी स्कूलों में साफ सफाई के लिए काम वाले लगे हैं? जैसे अभी तो स्टूडेंट्स की आप तस्वीरें दिखा रहे थे, और कितने, क्या ऐसा कोई फिगर है आपके पास कि देश भर में कितने ऐसे स्कूल हैं जहाँ टॉयलेट्स नहीं हैं, सफाई वाले नहीं हैं, क्या है?
ये मैं बोल सकता हूँ कि as far as government schools are concerned, there is no government school which doesn't have a toilet. That is why I told you that within that 1 year, we ensured that every government school has at least one boys toilet and one girls toilet, if not more. So that we have done. The point is, beyond this, whether every toilet has got water supply, whether every toilet is being maintained properly. So these are things that we need to, but whenever somebody raises any question, we encourage them to tell us the names of the schools so that we immediately take up the issue with the state governments and get this rectified. Of course, it's a continuous process. We have to keep on working on it. But as far as availability of toilet is concerned, yes, we have ensured that all government schools have got toilets.
Sir, you talked about 17 lakh students in Rajasthan writing letters to their parents for construction of toilet at
Yeah.
home. So I need to understand, but does it mean that all those 17 lakh students doesn't have
At home. In school they have,
Okay.
but they have been encouraged after seeing that toilets are needed. They are writing letters to their own parents that we must have toilet at home.
So none of them had toilet.
They didn't have. 15 lakh children did not have.
So let me just add to that. As Subhash said, the school sanitation is really important for overall sanitation because they are agents of change. So these letters which school children are writing to their parents, so that's why in the curriculum, it's important to bring that in so that they can become agents of change themselves. And so Rajasthan as a state has got 3 or 4 state districts which have become open defecation free, but others haven't.
It's spontaneous movement.
Yeah.
The same will be started in other states.
It's going on, it's happening across the country. You just gave an example from Rajasthan.
Sir, have you given any specific instructions to MCD, speaking specifically about Delhi? Because so many government schools come under MCD. And it's only yesterday that Lieutenant Governor visited 17 garbage collection sites, and he had issued directions to MCD officials to either clean up the garbage sites because the garbage was either spilling or was waiting to be cleaned up in its entirety. So unless somebody pulls up ears of MCD, I don't think that anything is going to happen on the ground.
Of course, about MCD's general performance and all, I will not be able to tell, but as far as schools are concerned, MCD schools are part of the government system. So the instruction that has been issued to the state governments applies to MCD schools as well. And here the purpose of having this fortnight is to have intensified activity so that the awareness is generated that toilets must be maintained, they must be used properly, then the behavioral change should take place.
Sir, right now you talked about the first number of students and how many toilets should be there in school.
Yeah.
Is there any
Yes.
proportion that
We have a norm, in fact, Ministry of Drinking Water Supply has issued guidelines, and that we have shared with all the states and UTs.
what should be the proportion?
That is, one urinal for 80 children. And one water closet for 80 children. So 80 is to 1 should be the, and for I think
Drinking water facility, one
drinking water facility is a must. Then another thing we have done during this Pakhwada is to encourage children to learn hand washing before taking, the midday meal is there in all government and government aided schools. Before taking midday meal, they must all wash hands, and after taking midday meal, they must wash hands. So that is also something which we encourage children to have this behavioral change, and if that changes with them, they will also implement it in their house among the parents and the other family members.
Sir, and you said about the ratio of urinals per
Urinal is 40 is to 1.
What is the
40. Yeah.
40.
40.
40. And for toilets, sir?
80 is to 1.
So how many NGOs are working in this school roads, toilets and this how to do it, what to do it, what not do it, who is monitoring and who is given the instructions to the children?
This is
by the government of India instructions or it is by the NGO's own instructions?
No, it is basically primarily the state governments which organize, but we give them general guidelines how what to do. Then audio-visual programs are also there which they can show among the children, so in their own language. So this is all. And some states, in some areas, NGOs are also active. In some places where the NGOs are not active, teachers themselves do this job.
It's all done by the NGOs.
Not all, but wherever there are no NGOs, the schools themselves, headmaster and teachers, they also implement this.
So nowadays you are only focusing on the government schools. What about the private schools?
Private schools also are supposed to do this, but we focused on government schools because they are the ones which lacked it the most. Good private schools generally had toilets and all, but it is to be implemented by all schools because all children must get this facility.
State government schools and the central.
Yes.
So what is the progress with respect to urinal and availability of drinking water? Is that all the schools have urinals and 100%? Or what is the
No, I have the figures because we do an annual survey of what percentage of schools have drinking water, what percentage of schools have toilet.
One of the thing there, I think. In the dice.
Yes, drinking water is there, very much there. Toilets are
there. Urinal, I don't
urinal also, toilets are there. No, not separately urinal, but toilets.
Sir, you said that there will be a Swachh Bharat week from 25th to October 2nd. Are you again going to involve educational institutions then? Yes. What kind of activities?
Yeah, so this, as I said, it's 2 years of the Swachh Bharat mission announcement on October 2nd. So the week before that is going to be a series of activities focusing on this. This is both urban ministry and rural ministry, because it's urban and rural. Schools, again, one of the ideas was, which we are working on the exact date, would be that all schools, government schools in particular, would be focusing on Swachhata related activities on a particular day during the week, but the week on the whole is different sectors, different activities. So for example, NCC will be observing on one day across the country, all NCC cadets will be focusing. So this is being planned out from 25th to 2nd.
I just want to clarify, we are actually one of the most important parts of this entire program. So you will not have a week without us. We'll be there.
So the director IIT just said that they developed a toilet, waterless toilet. They're working on other technologies also. Is the ministry evaluating any of these technologies so that they can be recommended for other institutions?
Yeah, so let me comment on that. It's a good question because specifically on technologies for sanitation as well as for water, there is a committee headed by Professor Dr. Mashelkar, the well-known Dr. Mashelkar. So that comes under my ministry, the Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. That meets periodically, typically once in 3 or 4 months. They evaluate all proposals which come to them from any source. You can upload it on the website. So if someone has got a technology which they would like checked out, so this committee has got a team of experts which looks at the authenticity and the credibility, whether that's a particular technology which can work or not. So they will review that, and then once they approve it, then anyone who wants to adopt it at least knows that it's got the seal of approval of the Mashelkar committee and it's technically sound.
Sir, has any technology for educational institutions been approved? Has any such technology come to that committee?
You mean in terms of water and sanitation for education? See, it's not different for educational institutions or scientific institutions. It's technology specific.
Has this waterless toilet?
Yeah, so this waterless toilet in particular, I don't know this model. There have been some models of waterless toilet. They're different models. So it's possible this one has not come, but we can check up on that. But coming from IIT Delhi, I would take it as the gospel. I wouldn't worry about it.
But to make a waterless toilet, government of India is sponsoring or some money
money?
Yeah, so look, there are basically there is a research fund which can fund such proposals, and this goes on in different institutions. You know, as Mr. Vineshil Oberoi said, the IITs in particular are taking the lead on this, and they themselves are developing it. The Department of Defense Research and Organization is doing it. The Railways is doing it. So different organizations are doing it. Let me just say that in a rural context, there is a concept called eco-san, ecological sanitation, which basically does not require any water. Right? That technology is quite simple. The problem there is not the technology so much as the behavior change you need to implement that technology. Because basically you're separating the urine from the feces. Right? And so there, in theory, you don't need any water, but it's quite challenging to implement because this is about behavior change. Itself adopting a toilet and then adopting an eco-san toilet is even more difficult. But this has been piloted particularly in the south.
Thank you.
The brand ambassador of they will come, they will participate in this.
Yeah, so this, again, it's a bit confusing, so let me clarify. The 25th September to 2nd October is it's not a Pakhwada per se. It is a week of celebrations. It's a week. Pakhwada is fortnight. So during this week, some of the brand ambassadors will be associated. But basically this is for the state governments, the municipal corporations and the districts to carry out, to intensify Swachhata related activities.
Thank you, friend.